You will excuse me because I did not know who is here, who is not here. So I won't call even a single name. I'll just say, hi, everyone. Tokyo. Funa ngikhuluma inkinga zakho. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, my brother, my lawyer. I don't have one lawyer, of course. I've got quite a few. I'm still going to have more. But I'm still going to cause trouble more. But thank you very much, Director of the program. Okwami bekuzoba nje khona la just ngilalela ukuthi lensizwa ibhale kuba ngizwe kuthiwa ibhale incwadi. Mina kangikwazi ukubhala. Angikwazi nokufunda. Angazi lutho nje. Ngiyinto nje kaNkulunkulu. My good sister, you are still alive. Wonderful. Well, the reason why I came really was to be at this point where a book is being presented to the country, and I'm sure it will be read throughout the world. And I thought it is important to come and hear what is it that has been written by people who have gone through some experiences of dealing with people who are said to be prisoners or whatever in relation to that. Partly because I believe South Africa has a history of its own, not very much like many, for very serious reasons. We are the only country that started freedom fighting and was at the end of completing that process. We live in a country which has very unusual kind of behavior. But also tell a lot of stories in different ways. Very innocent people who have gone to prison, served many years, having committed no crime, except to say we want to be free in our country. Some died. Some stayed in prison for decades, like our leaders, who were our best leaders ever. Best gentlemen, if you wanted to. Lover of humanity. They had to stay in prison for many, many years. And it still continues, by the way, perhaps in a more modern way. So I thought I should. Ngizoceba wena ukuthi wenzani emnceleni naseSwazini naseSouth Africa. Don't talk. Don't look at me. Akusekho nengane nje ufuna ukuphuza amanzi madoda ngimdala ngengaka. Hehe nowe babo. Hawu. Awuboni ke ngikuzwile uhlabela kamnandi ukuthi you are the right person. Ikhehla leli phuza kancane. Tokyo, we were one a terrorist when Sugala. Ngizotshena abantu la ngendaba zakho uma ulokhu ngibuka. I think Baba Meluami, mine was to thank you, to stand up and tell the truth as you know it about what has happened in this country. And I wanted to be here with you. And I was happy to see many of comrades and friends. Abanye abantu mangit comrade boti akaseyo nanje ANC. No, I'm an ANC member, for information. And I will remain one until the end. But I will also uMkhonto Wesizwe, nevertheless. What a wonderful thing to say. Absolutely, I'm telling the truth. We are born to why I say so, but I won't say it now. I will say it later. But thank you very much. Our country is a very special country. I think it has undergone processes and processes and processes since the arrival of the whites in South Africa and chose to have the biggest majority of white people in South Africa. No other place in the world except this country, for good reasons. Because it stands in a very important part of the world. And therefore it makes everybody wants to come here and stay here. And it is good here. Once we are here, you realize we are in a wonderful country. All what is left in us is to be together and be South Africans, and not South Africans of different kind of thinking and everything. Just be South Africans. Some of us, when we joined the struggle, we were ready to liberate those who were oppressed in this country. And I think we did well. We did well. We did things that others did not do. We are the only country that signed an important international law that if we're fighting, if you catch the enemy, you don't kill. That's a law that we signed. It was signed by our president, one of the best presidents I've ever seen, Oliver Tambo. That led us to, in the war, as we were fighting for this country, not to kill those we caught, to imprison them, and following the law. One day, when I will have time to tell the story, I'll tell you how much we ended up with a problem that other countries did not. One of our presidents, the best as well, Nelson Mandela, went to president in Africa and said, we've just finished our war. We are inside. There is a problem. What did we do with people we arrested as informers or whatever you call them? He said, we came back with them at home. We don't know how to handle them. We didn't know. So he said, what did you do, President so-and-so? I said, no, what are we talking about? No, we brought them at home. Now we said, what do we do? Because we are now there with them. He says, but what are you talking about? So no, inform us. Then he says, sorry, when we came back our home, when we were being freed, we had not a single informer that we brought back. He said, didn't you arrest them during the war? Madiba asked. He says, no. We did not have food to give them. We did not have the place to put them. So we all got rid of them. So he said, as a result, when we came back, we had no problem where to put them. That was Mugabe responding to his friend. I'm saying this because we in South Africa, we've been a very unique country. I don't remember anywhere where there was a president like Tambo who signed that those that would be captured will not be killed. And he followed that very well. And it was correct. It was correct. Because it indicated how our hearts are in South Africa. When we were negotiating, I know many people criticize negotiating. One day, when I'll be younger than what I am, I'll write a huge book about it. Because our being South Africans has a special thing in it. Very special. We introduced what we call, I heard people these days talking about, sorry to others, I'm not offending, sorry. When we were negotiating, we knew this was a complex country with everything you can think of the world. And we needed to act as real human beings, as us, and agreed that we've been fighting for a long time and there are many deaths and prisons and everything, and said, how do we bring peace to ourselves? And we believed that we needed to negotiate. There is a long story, by the way, that I'm going to write very soon, Baba. Where we're saying, in order for us to accept that we want to have peace, we cannot just go for elections and have one of the parties leading the country when we are still all angry. We need first to govern this country together, all of us. And we introduced something that I hadn't heard of before, the one I heard here, the government of national unity. It came as a result of saying, we who have been killing one another, arresting one another, let us sit together and be one country. And let us, therefore, the first term, be governed by all of us. And we called it the government of national unity, uniting the nations in South Africa. What a wonderful thing. It was only related to peace. Let us bring peace, understanding, working together, being together in our country. And I think it was a very wise thing from wise people, our leaders in particular. Sengimdala ntombazana sengoma njalo nje. Ngikhathazeki. Angiguli. I'm fresh. But what I think we did not realize was that freedom can have different shades and whatever. I did not know at the time that we'll come to a point where we would not be able to reach the final end. We ended up standing somewhere before finishing everything. That is what has caused the problem today. One of the issues is the economy, because the economy of the country remained not equal. The life remained not equal. And therefore, we ended up, during our freedom, becoming prisoners. And that's why I've got lawyers. Got one here, got one here. My lawyers, they are men, because I think I'm more of a wrongdoer. So, in the process of this, I think things moved away from where we thought we were moving. And it is a fact. Painful to us who lost our comrades, who had people staying in prison, our leaders, for 20, how many years? 25? Except two were 26, the two friends. Then we ended up in a situation where we could have to write books like this. Because what we said we're doing it, but somewhere, somehow it went this way and that way. I never thought I would one day say, I'm establishing a political party in South Africa after fighting for freedom. I now have it, and I'm proud of it. But I'm still a member of the African National Congress. You say to me I'm not, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. Yes, absolutely. I spent my life, I spent my everything in the ANC. But I reached a point where ANC had changed, was no longer what I know it to be. And I had to, as a soldier, do something. One day, somewhere, somehow, we'll be together. But thank you, my brother, for really sitting down, put the story in something that will remain forever. I think we still have one day to be honest to ourselves and sit together and talk. It will come once the conditions are better than other time. I'm sorry that I have to leave. I wanted to see my colleagues, my comrades, engibabonile la, engibakhumbulayo la, nengibaziyo la. Do you think it is difficult to reach a very good South Africa? It's not impossible. It is. I think your writing says to us, let us talk about what we know. Let us make ourselves to be better than what we thought we were. And we can make it. Absolutely. Lo mfana lo kade ngikhuluma ngaye angimcebe. Wayephuma ko trainer lo eRussia lo. Mina ngigibisa ibhanoyi ngambisa ngaze ngamdriver usengena emotweni nabanye ocomrade uza la ekhawuzola simthumile abantu baphuma ucingweni lapha eSwazini babanjwa wabanjwa ehamba nama comrade ngama 2 or 3 babanjwa amaphoyisa lo muntu omnyama lento omhlophe njalo ku driver nomlungu angithi lo uphethe isikhwama ufake intembi lapha kade isikhwameni uthi kulaba hamba nabo ngeke ngiboshwe mina ngiyaganga nina ngiyamshaya manje lo mlungu uphethe into lapha angisazi ukuthi igama layo yini yaziwa yena bathi laba mshaya. He actually took out something cishe ngayibiza ngegama ngifuna ukwenza isigebengu ilokhuzana uyashayisa lapho uvula umnyango wayilahla into iyaqhuma lento wayithi uyabona umlungu wayebona wathi ngeke ngisho ukuthi kwenzekani wabaleka wabuyela eSwazini lo engaboshwanga ngikhipha imfihlo zakho ngoba usabaleka kumina wena ngisakwazi nokuhlala lapha bengithi usuhlala eNgland kanti usahlala la. Good people, sorry, I'm sorry that I'm going to leave now, but thank you very much for coming in this number. For me, this says we are going to do something about ourselves and about our country. There is no equality in our country. Those who were suffering in the past, some are suffering more than they did before. And you can't say what we did, even fighting for freedom, we have made it better. Only better to the few, not we, the majority. We still have a role to play. Let us read the book and think back and try to be what we are supposed to be. We have a capacity to do so as South Africans. I know we are all wonderful and will remain wonderful. And I'm thanking you, my brother, to be brave and tell the story. I heard Tokyo, you made a contribution here. Funa ukuyifunda indawo yakho ngibona ukuthi usele yanto wawiyo. Noma usushintshile mfana. Ngoba nibe nihambe nishintshe. Bakwethu, ngiyaxolisa kunomsindo ovele bengizele nje ukuzobona abafowethu nodadewethu nama-comrade nonke. Mina ngoqhubeka nje ngenze ezinye izinto nginethuse nangelinye la ngisazonethusa futhi ningacabanga ukuthi ngisele thusa lokwangempela impela niyangizwa my babo siyabonga bantu siyabonga.
Malapit.